Hey everyone, it's Bob Crossan. I am the Vice President of Content Strategy for the Endeavor Business Media Water and Energy Groups, a division of Endeavor B2B. I'm here with Patrick McNamara. He is the PFAS and Residuals Research Leader for Black Veatch. So we're going to be talking about PFAS and residuals today.
Yeah, excited to be here.
Yeah, well, and you had some presentations here at WEFTEC, so we're kind of tying into what you're already talking about. But the one thing I want to talk to you about was thermal technologies and what's going on in that space. So how have those types of technologies evolved over time? Kind of where are we in that landscape today?
Yeah, it's a great question. There's a lot of interest on thermal technologies, partly due to PFAS. But they're at the early part of the S-curve in the sense that we are doing a lot of research, pilot studies. There's been some attempts at full-scale operation, and we're still sort of waiting to see how they can do long-term operational, but that's always part of a new technology, is figuring out the kinks in the system. There's great efforts ongoing. They're not widespread right now in the United States as a current option for biosolids management, but there is some facilities that have them or are attempting to have them and get it going. So it's an exciting stage, and we're watching and learning as they try to evolve here to become an actual tool in the toolbox for biosolids management.
Yeah. So from when you're talking to utilities and things like that, where do their interests seem to lie? Like how are their views adapting at the rate of change with technology adapting? You know?
Yeah. No, they have general interest in it. I think there's that old adage of keep the end in mind. So what's the product? If you want biosolids because you want to land apply them for the value of nutrients and carbon, then thermal processes don't give you that option because they convert the biosolids to another, say, biochar, and they convert it to energy in a gas phase. But if a utility is saying, you know what, I don't want the biosolids, I don't want to deal with the material, I want to recover energy, then there's more interest in considering thermal processes. So it's really about what they want to do with their biosolids, recover energy or generate a beneficial use end product.
Yeah. Well, and one of the bigger concerns I think over the past couple of years is the PFAS equation there, kind of fate of PFAS in wastewater and in biosolids. The concern there oftentimes leading to the question in Maine with land application, where it's kind of the hardest, it sounds like, for utilities to work through there. What are you seeing on that perspective? Like, what are utilities thinking right now? How's that informing some of their decisions? Where does thermal processes come into the equation there?
Yeah, so that's a great question. A lot of it is about having the chance to pivot. So you might have a biosolids management plan that works right now because PFAS aren't a regulation in your particular state. Yeah. But what if they become one in 2 years or 4 years? Are you set up in a way where you might be able to pivot? Yeah. And so there are processes required before thermal processes. For example, you would need to have a dryer on site to dry your biosolids. Drying has benefits as well because you can get a biosolid product that you can apply to land. So if you had a dryer, maybe you're done and you land apply the biosolids, or maybe you want a thermal process. A couple years later, you could add that after your dryer. So I think it's about understanding that we might have pivot points of either what we're doing now, do we build to the future for another option if needed. And so they are thinking long-term about the role thermal processes might play in their facility planning.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a baby step situation, right? It's like you're taking one step at a time, and then as things evolve or change, you have these moments where you can adapt without like upsetting the apple cart, so to speak.
Yeah, right. And if thermal processes, by and large, aren't ready to go for every utility everywhere right now, but people are planning over time, and then maybe over time thermal processes advance to the point where if they need them in a couple years, they might have more operational reliability and stability and become part of that. So I think it's in the conversation. It's at the forefront. Yeah. And so it is a conversation all utilities are thinking about is where could this or couldn't this fit for us?
Yeah. Speaking of forefront, I think one of the things I'm hearing occasionally now from utilities, you're talking about the fate of PFAS, thermal drying, that's often has some type of emissions component tied to it. What is the PFAS situation there? Where's the research on PFAS and emissions? Do utility owners and leaders need to know about things currently relating to that? Like, what should they know today? Where's the research headed tomorrow?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's one that's near and dear to my heart, and what I'm here for at WEFTEC is we're thinking a lot about fate of PFAS during thermal processes, during drying. We have found our data shows that dryers do remove PFAS from biosolids, around 80%. So from a biosolids management standpoint, that's great because land application thresholds in certain states are set on PFAS concentrations. So if you can go from above that threshold to below, you can now land apply your biosolids. And then the next question is, well, that's great. Where does it go? What happens?
What happened to it?
And so we're trying to figure that out. That's an open question we have as a field, as researchers. We have some data that we showed at WEFTEC that shows it might be in that gas phase or vapor phase, and it leaves with water. Is it destroyed? We don't have conclusive data to say that it's destroyed, but it could be moving with either particulate matter and or air and water that leaves a dryer. But often it's not the case where the air is just vented to the atmosphere. So if you're a bigger facility, if you had a drum dryer, you might have a regenerative thermal oxidizer, or RTO, after it. EPA had a study this year looking at air treatment for PFAS, and it was actually at a manufacturing facility where they make PFAS.
Oh, really? Okay.
But they saw that both activated carbon and RTOs can remove a substantial amount, over 99% of PFAS. And so I think while we don't have a lot of data specifically on what happens to PFAS in the air, we should feel good that as an industry, we have technology for air pollution control already, right? Because as a field, we have to reduce odors, right? Incinerators can't just emit gas to the atmosphere without it. So I think the air pollution control processes we have as an industry will be applicable and work for removing PFAS that goes to the air phase if it goes to the air phase. So it's an open question, and it's a good one, but I think it's one we're ready to handle, and the air pollution control technology is further ahead than the actual thermal processes technologies.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, it sounds like it's almost mirroring kind of the situation of, all right, we're regulating PFAS in water. We have the technologies already to deal with it. It's just a matter of getting it into the right places. Right. So, yeah.
So, and the one thing I'll add is air sampling for PFAS is very expensive. Much more expensive than solids or water, which people would say, yeah, solids and water is expensive for PFAS. But, you know, rough numbers, if a solid or water sample is $500, it's a lot, but it's doable. But if an air sample in triplicate at a site is $50,000, how are you going to regulate air when it's that expensive, you know, at utilities everywhere? So it's another component regulators and contract labs are all working with is how do you make the gas phase more affordable to understand the fate of PFAS.
So if you look at like the horizon here, thinking about thermal treatment, about these PFAS issues and stuff, where do you see us headed? What does it look like 5-10 years down the road from your vantage point?
Yeah, I think there will be renewed and continued growing interest in thermal processes. I think incineration will have more interest as well because it's a process that we do know how it works, how it operates. It has that long-term operational stability, and it's been shown to remove PFAS, but there's air permitting regulatory hurdles. But I think we might have more conversations about incineration as well as pyrolysis and gasification. So they're still going to be of interest, and we're trying to figure out how to make them work with biosolids. So sometimes these thermal processes work well with wood chips or chicken litter, but biosolids, there's a reason there's tens of thousands of people here at WEFTEC. It's tricky, and you know, it's been around for a long time, but we still have learning opportunities with how to move different types of biosolids and sludge and mix it and get that into a thermal process that can work long term. So it's going to keep growing in interest because it provides another tool in the toolbox for management. And I think we'll still be talking about this in 5 years and hopefully have more success stories of, it's working at this facility and it's been working for a while here, and then other utilities will start to pick it up more in the future.
And you'll have more research, hopefully, too.
Hopefully we answer the questions and we can move on from PFAS.
That'd be great. Well, thanks so much, Patrick. It's great chatting with you and learning a little bit more about this. I appreciate you taking the time with us.
My pleasure. Thank you for the invitation.
For everyone who's watching, check out our video description below. We'll have some more information on PFAS and thermal drying solutions down there for you. And you can check out more WEFTEC content from 2025.